Good morning, folks. Doobie Snacks here. We got a morning edition going on here. I've got Arch Enemy going on in the background. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I love the women of metal, the ability, the presence. Tonight we're going to do a little bit of both climate issues going on and music. But first, the climate is, if you haven't noticed, getting a lot worse. And a lot of people are just concentrating on what's going on in the U.S. And I don't blame you. The U.S., power, we love you. Yay. But the rest of the world is also suffering too. Yeah, we've got cyclones appearing 2 months before even predicted. We've got massive heat going down in the south. Midwest is getting hit with so many different situations when it comes to the weather. We've got more earthquakes. We've got flooding from all the rains. I specifically live in a part where we're getting about 6 to 7 inches of rain in the last 3 days. We've got hailstorms forming. We've got over 100-degree weather already going. All these weather conditions are clashing, and it's getting to the point where we're getting, like for instance, the caps. Now they're predicting that they're going to melt down even worse. I just read. And now we've got these dumbasses going out and visiting the Titanic, getting lost. But the ocean is the most unpredicted, especially in the Atlantic, where all the fresh water is getting dumped into. And the ocean is trying its damnedest to keep things going, keeping the weather the way it should be. But Mother Nature is trying to evolve and make up for what we've done, and it's getting a lot worse. Now, I know I always preach this, but you want a better understanding, then watch Ginger Z. I mean, she's actually in Phoenix right now doing the conference, and a lot of things are being talked about, especially the surprising effects of Mother Nature and how the weather is evolving, trying to, clean out the air. All the fires going on. It's just, we're in a real bad situation right now, and it all is connected. And we understand only what's going on in the U.S. because that's what we watch, news-wise. And then we get our little pings on our phones that tell us other things that are going on in the world. And it's just, we are headed for a downfall when it comes to trying to survive all this. So that's my warning. I'll keep preaching it. It's not a conspiracy theory. You guys are watching it every day. It is happening. I do not believe there is a quiet place on this planet right now that we could have normal weather. I used to say Florida, but yeah, look at what's going on there. They're getting tornadoes. So, enough about that. Now, my favorite subject, music. Now, I've been saying over and over again that I want to get my company developed so I can start doing custom guitar work for mentally ill, or the mental health, the background, the subject, my inspiration, the color schemes, the equipment I use, the style of guitar. I worship all of these musicians and guitars that they're using, and when I watch them or hear them, I find my frequency. Now, when I talk about a frequency, our minds, the way we developed, one of the senses is the hearing, and it triggers many, many, many things in our mind. Okay? And music can be a great trigger or the most devastating as in emotions. when the memories, like right now, I've got good memories going because I've got Arch Enemy is on my TV right now as I am doing this podcast. And the women in metal are iconic. They are bringing up so many great generation of female musicians that in the past, it was just like Hollywood where they were controlled. It wasn't heard of, I mean, unless you were an all-girl band, and then they made it into a laughing stock situation. Until you had great groups that were backed by the music industry, a lot of them were just pushed down. But now, on my Facebook, I post every day different groups, musicians, and a lot of them are young, up-and-coming musicians that are trying their best, I want to push all of that because when music is being listened to and you find that right frequency in your mind, then everything else goes away. You find that happiness. A lot of people go through different genres, different times, different, I would say, areas. I mean, wherever you live, there is a local group of musicians, as small or big. All right, but being a musician, you'll hear this from some of the most famous, that when you sit down with somebody who has just as much love and respect for music, and you guys just sit there and just play, 4 chords back and forth, just having fun, you reach that mindset and that frequency where everything else around you doesn't matter. The world stops in your mind, okay? And that gives you that freedom to have no anxiety. That gives you that freedom to develop your own, either whether it's, I don't know, playing guitar, drum, piano, singing. I mean, we've all been in the shower with our favorite music and sat there and sang and enjoyed ourselves, And those are just little examples. That's your mind relaxing. I mean, personally, I love playing. I've got speakers all over my bathroom because when I take my shower in the mornings, I listen, I jam out, and it depends on what mood I'm in when I'm in there. Most of the time, it's just 80s long hair music, I mean, how can I not? What puts a smile on my face the most is music that was my foundation and my guide in life. That was my personal area, a genre, my time frame. That's where I learned most about music in my background. I've been playing, building, talking music for 39 years now. And simply put, that my world was totally being developed at that age with my mental health issues. So, as a lot of you that are listeners, my Doobie Nights, you guys know that my personal mental health issues, the only way I could escape it was in my room with, my dual cassette player and my LP, my record player, which a lot of you don't know what they are. But, it's just, I would escape. I would find my love. And there were bands that just totally brought a whole new world to me. And it was the guitar slash drum rhythm section, bass. I mean, everything had to click just right for me to escape. And there were Metallica, huge, Ozzy, and his glory of having great guitar players. Van Halen. Um, yeah, a lot of people. Van Halen, Eddie, iconic because his playing established so much with me. It was like Michael Jackson's "Beat It." When I heard that solo, boom. And I got the Thriller album so early with the Def Leppard album, Pyromania. And that just established everything for me. So when I find that one uh, group, songwriting, guitar playing, rhythm section, when I find all of that in one, my mind totally escapes for that 4 to 6 minutes. Then you get your iconic Metallica, which is 7 to 8 minutes, and you just escape. And now we have so many individuals out there that are on the net, and these people are working hard every day to be able to learn their trade, their music. And I see it every day as I'm going through Facebook talking to my friends and family and people that I actually care about, even though I've never met. Because they have common sense, a sense of humor, and they're not trying to con me. Okay, so when I see all these rising musicians playing cover tunes of music that I really enjoy, and they're doing a great job, I push it. I put it in my story form. I put it on my page. I like them. I follow them. I want to see them grow. There are so many bands now that are doing world tours that got established on Facebook. All these different musicians are learning from my generation. Okay, but in the downfall of things, they're mixing so many of the generations that I Jelly Roll. My sister got me hooked on him, and this guy is pure. All right, he's got my background basically, and not in music, but in life in general. Okay, so I relate with this guy, and his music is great, and that's just one of the things that you can find out there. You just gotta look. You gotta, I don't know, explore and figure what does your mind want to hear? What does your mind want to see? And I get a little upset when I see all these other, I don't know, crack addicts out there. Now I call them crack addicts because they're dumb as hell. I get really upset at the fact that people are still putting their, 2 cents into the opinion of the world about music. I mean, come on, man. It's none of your damn business who likes who. You just need to worry about your own world. And I love the fact that when I put music on my Facebook page for people to listen to and explore, I get comments back that this is against God. This music is written by Lucifer. Okay. I wasn't sure if Lucifer... The only Lucifer I know was in Tenacious D. When... Well, we won't say Lucifer. We'll just say a great dressed up individual. We all know. I don't want to give it away because I want you to watch and see who actually plays the devil in the Destiny of Pick. I mean, come on. The Pick of Destiny, sorry. Dyslexia. Anyways, music has a foundation in all of us. And the frequency your mind uses, like for instance, when somebody's talking to you and you recognize their voice, your mind goes directly to, hey, I know this person. And then you think about why and who. Well, you do that with music too. It hits a certain frequency in your mind and your memories are established. Your mind starts to realize that, hey, I like this. Let's remember this moment. And as you listen more and more to these individuals or groups, as time progresses, so does your memories as they're triggered from this music. The more you listen, even your day to day, and you enjoy, your mind relaxes more and more. Your anxieties go away. And these days, that's needed, man, because there is so much trauma that is established every day, not only because of the outside atmosphere or people trying to pound into your world, your circle. You know, you've also got your day to day issues of work, of trying to keep your family going. And the one thing I do love seeing is that families are out there using music to get together. Uh, the son father combination of Eddie Wolf, you know, there is a prime example. Father son teams excellent, but you see a lot of people out there that are teaching their children the music they grew up on, and they're showing so much respect. I've watched a 9-year-old girl out there singing her ass off to music that her mother and father grew up to. And she was rocking it, man. And then you get these 60, 70-year-old guys, my age guys, out there playing today's music. You know, and it just seems like there's so many gateways that can be opened just by music. You know, find you a group of individuals that enjoy the same music you do, and I guarantee you guys will talk for hours. You know, I'm seriously thinking about moving back into southwest Iowa just because I miss the music, I miss the people that I surrounded myself with in music at that time in my life, you know. And I miss it so much. And I know that I can be doing some custom build guitars for a lot of these guys, you know, and I can branch out and work with so many musicians to get their ideas. And these are people that I trust because, you know, I've known them for 30 years. So the music world, as I keep saying over and over again, is a blessing for your mind. Mental health is getting worse and worse, and a lot of people are not understanding how their mind is developing, especially when they're in certain situations that going down the rabbit hole. That one is huge. You know, the mind wants what the heart needs. You guys work two and two together. You know, your emotions and your thoughts have to be one in order for you to survive. Because if your mind's going one way and your heart's going the other, the rest of your life is going to be a pain. Okay, so with mental health, you guys, it's huge if you can find the right music, and it's out there. You just got to look. My emotional music has been like Five Finger Death Punch. Ivan Moody, his writing is so key to me, you know, and that's this generation, the ability. They're writing music of their life and what they've done because that's what they know, and they're learning to put music to their story. If you listen to the story, then the music will truly follow. And that is how you will remember what the song is all about. Okay? You've got poetry in one hand, and you've got music, harmonies, rhythms in the other. when you put the two together and they establish a story, your mind remembers that. And whether or not you're dealing with the same thing or you know somebody who is, you know, you relate. And with that, you spread that. If you hear something that you feel that somebody in your life would really enjoy, well, you spread that. That's the beauty of music. Okay, so when you are at one with a 3 to 5 minute song where you have no anxieties and no issues, your mind is set at that frequency. And a lot of times it has to do with the vocals or a kick-ass riff, man. You know, there are iconic musicians out there that give you those riffs and that rhythm. And to be able to go with the vocals and the story, you know, that's big. And you need to spread that. Everybody needs to understand where you're coming from before you can, I guess, spread your joy. And with music, man, I'm telling you, you could do so much. A lot of musicians will tell you they got into the music because they love what it does for them and they want to spread it. You'll see a lot of great musicians out there that'll just jam with the next generation just to spread that joy and making sure that they do the same thing. You know, I've been backstage and I've seen a lot of great musicians just walk up to people that are afraid to say hi. Adrian Smith from Iron Maiden, we were all sitting around, we were getting autographs, and he walked up to this kid that was 10, 11 years old, young. He got there with his father. And he was scared because this kid, from what I understand, was a huge fan because of Daddy. That was their father-son thing. And the father explained to him why. And man, he got on his knees, hugged him, signed his jean jacket, and gave him hope, telling him that, please follow in my footsteps. Be a badass. Be better than me. You know, when I see things like that, it makes me realize that these icons, these legends, they started from the bottom too. You know, they're just like everybody else. You can't put everybody on a pedestal, man. Only people that belong on pedestals are actually the ones that are past. Dimebag, Vinny's, the anniversary of his death's coming up, you know. And I miss the legends. We all do. And George Michael, he's another one. That man to me was beyond. His voice, his music touched me in so many different ways, you know. And I always go to, like I do with Metallica, like I do with Ozzy, like I do with Madonna, like I do with Michael Jackson, Adele. You know, these are individuals that I go to when I need that boost up, you know. When I was going through high school, it was Bon Jovi, it was Dokken. I had so many different music, I would guess, genres that I could pick from, because the 80s and 90s, oh man, they rocked, okay? And I had so much respect for these musicians. You know, I worked at a music store for a while. You know, I got to tell you, I met some great musicians. Wrathchild America, they were awesome, man. I've talked about them before. And meeting Chris from Sabotage, my favorite all-time guitar player, because of the fact that he stood there and he talked to me. So when you become a badass musician and you witness the next generation enjoying your music, step back and realize that that's where you came from. All right. Now, this is Doobie Snacks, basically passing out. Remember, music can open gateways for all generations. Spread the love, man. We need it. This is Doobie Snacks passing out. Later, y'all.